Yeah, yeah. This one hurts. You know where you're at, folks. This is the Washington Football Maniacs channel podcast for the Commanders. Please support us, subscribe to us, hit the notification bell to notify you for all videos because YouTube doesn't like to set their algorithm to all videos. So make sure that you do that when you do get notified. Um, Very quickly, I am disappointed, very disappointed. Um, I probably would have been much more disappointed if the Commanders didn't even show up, but they played well. They had the opportunity to really pull away, and they couldn't. Um, they were up on the Steelers, 10 points at one time, and that's what's tough. Washington played well enough to win. They also played well enough to lose, or bad enough to lose. I guess I should say the muffed punt. Um, just not really being able to get Daniels involved in the run game. They held him in check all day long. Um, pressure Daniels. I mean, they did everything they needed to do to win the football game, and Washington still had an opportunity and that crucial fourth down spot, which if you ask a Washington Commanders fan, we will say it was a first down. You ask a Steelers fan, they will say no, he was definitely short. Um, that is 9 times out of 10, if it gets called short on the field, they're not going to reverse it unless it is just way beyond obvious. And since it wasn't conclusive or inconclusive, I don't know. Then they upheld the call, so the Commanders were short. Still had an opportunity. They still had a chance to get the football back in decent shape. Now that 4th and 1 that where Russell Wilson was able to um, do a hard cadence to get Johnny Newton off sides. I think if they were not able to get the Commanders to jump, they probably would have punted. And so you were looking at the Commanders having to go the length of the field to get into scoring territory, which obviously they've shown in the past they can do that. But I mean, obviously they didn't get an opportunity. I think if Jaden Daniels had gotten the opportunity, you probably would have seen the Commanders win this football game. But my hat's off to the Steelers. So well coached. Such a big fan of Mike Tomlin. There's a reason why he's got longevity there with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He always coaches those Steelers very good. He always has them ready for anything, and he did today. We can go back and point out certain plays, but overall, the thing is, Commanders have to get ready and regroup. Short week, Thursday night game against the Philadelphia Eagles, who right now are beating the Dallas Cowboys at the time of this recording of this video. And so right now, I hate to say it, the Eagles are in first place in the NFC East. I have a feeling that that's going to go back and forth through the remainder of the season. I don't see either one of the teams pulling away unless they can sweep each other, or I should say, unless one team can sweep the other. But 7-3 is pretty good, but we were so close to 8-2, and I think that's what hurt so bad. This team, it wasn't like the Ravens game where you knew, okay, they were definitely outclassed. Even though that they were not soundly beat, you knew that they were beat. This game, they had an opportunity to win. They were up. That they double dipped. getting the ball back first in that second half scoring, I felt that they had an opportunity to pull away, and they just could not do it. They allowed the Steelers come back. The Steelers stopped them a lot in the second half, and honestly, against these good teams, you can't have multiple 3 and outs. You've got to be able. It's a chess match all throughout the game, and whenever you're playing a well coached team like Mike Tomlin coached team, it's a chess match, and so you've got to be on top of it. So, you know, 7-3, we still have 7 games left to go, and it just amazes me. I mean, even if the Commanders down the stretch go, 4-3, then they'll wind up going 11-6, which would be the first time in decades that they have won more than 10 games in a season. So, and they have a very good chance of doing that. I honestly, of course, if you've watched this channel, you would have known that I would have said, yeah, they're going to go, 7 and what was it? 7-10, I guess. And of course, they reached their 7th win last week, and so I'm like, okay, obviously they're going to win more than 7 games. So, it's hard to fathom them only winning 3 games down the line to only get up to the double-digit mark. I really feel like they can win 12 games at this point. 7 games left to go. That would mean 5-2 going down the stretch. So it's very doable. I think 11-6 is probably a good estimate at this point, but I would like to see them beat some of these really good teams. If they can beat the Eagles on Thursday night, number one, they'll reclaim the NFC East. They'll be up on the Eagles that much more because they would have won a head-to-head game. And that should give them a lot of confidence to go into the next few games before their bye. So, yeah, what can I say? We were without Brian Robinson. Our center was hurt for a series or two. Wiley, I haven't been his biggest fan, but I think Scott he kind of struggled on that right side today, and so maybe I'm starting to see why Wiley is better suited for that right tackle position than what we've given him credit for. So, and of course, yeah, our long snapper and our kicker didn't play today, but we didn't really see any issues with that. The kicker came in today and played pretty well, made all of his field goals and extra points and things like that. So he was fine. Would like to have Seabird back, of course. The overall now, is a quick turnaround to the Eagles game Thursday night, and we got to get ready for that. And the best way to get ready for that is to be mad about what happened today. And in a way, I will say there's never a good loss. I will take that to my grave. There's never a good loss. But I will say this. What a loss can do for you is make you so upset, make you so mad, and make you basically be so focused on the next game that you're like, these mistakes we made in this game, we're not making these in the next game. That's not going to happen. So let's hope that that happens against the Eagles.